A very warm welcome all the way from Luxembourg. This is the Predator Luxembourg Open EUROTOUR. And what a match we will have coming up right now. We have a very good battle, I would say, between Dennis Grabe from Estonia and Max Lechner from Austria. It's a winner's qualification match. And it's a race to 7. Alternate break, 10 ball, breaking from outside the box. And in the commentary box, as you can see, it's myself, Tim de Ruiter, gladly joined by my good friend and colleague, Gethin Davis. Welcome, Gethin.
Thank you, Tim. And yes, nicely put. This could be an absolute magical match. Both players similar in age and will have known each other quite a long time on the European scene. So they'll certainly be fully appreciative and respectful for their opponent's abilities. But it looks like Dennis has won the lag and will get us off with his first of 2 breaks and making balls off the break, which is promising. But look at what he's left on the 1, Tim.
Yeah, I think it's unreal from where you could see how well he controlled the cue ball on the break. But with a couple bumps, it still found its way behind the 2 ball. Kind of crazy. So definitely we will see the push out. Can make whatever ball, can push the cue ball wherever he wants to. And it's now up to Max to see if he would like to take it on from here or he puts Grabe back in the box. But I cannot really imagine him giving this back. Do you fancy this?
Well, I certainly would fancy playing safe from it. I wouldn't be taking this on offensively. I'm not too sure what Max has picked out here. He's looking to bring the 4 and the 6 into play and...
Ooh.
May not have done it.
Well, it's kind of surprising. He had a pretty big target to the right side of the 4 and the 6. Even if he runs too far, like you have 2 balls to kind of land behind. And he didn't, so it's a bit of a worrying opening shot for Max. And also Dennis going for the bank, and I actually felt like he's missed it by quite a bit. So both gents definitely feeling maybe a bit of early pressure. This is a tough match. I mean, for both of them, it's not... I mean, there's good players and there's players that have done big things in their career. Well, these two definitely have done that, so not easy to play against.
No, I did have the pleasure on day 1 of commentating on Dennis Grabe, and he looked a little bit, like, how can I say, he didn't really look invested in the match. He was playing really well, and I think some of that was down to the fact he, even at that early stage, was just not getting anything off the break, was breaking the balls well, but just not getting anything to really attack. And he just seemed to, well, it appeared like he lost a bit of interest in the game. He was able to win, and that's purely through to his skill, but it doesn't look like, well, so far, many players have really got this break working on the 2 TV tables, and even though they are potting balls, they just don't seem to be getting shape on the next ball. So it'd be interesting to see how it plays out in this 2 break per player format.
Yeah, I have to add, I think we have 2 different styles at the table. Both great players in the defense, in the moving game. Very good tacticians, but Dennis, sometimes he can make it look like he barely is invested in the match. Like he has that kind of flamboyant kind of thing. So, like now he actually, you can see there's early pressure because he's really grinding it out. But sometimes he will play a match and it looks like he's, I mean, it looks like just a regular walk. Like it doesn't really put anything more into it, you know? So, yeah, interesting style sometimes, but it has always worked for him.
No, indeed, and that was something that I mentioned at the time. It can be his style. It can be quite daunting for an opponent as well, because you're thinking, well, is he really here? Is he really caring what's going on? And then he'll just sneak up and run quite a few racks. So that's why I mentioned about the alternating 2 breaks as Dennis takes the opener. But with that, there's a change in momentum, and if one player does get their break working, there are good chances for the scoreline to swing quite dramatically. So first one on the break for Dennis on the board.
Yeah, got a little bit fortunate taking on the bank early on, leaving a hook for Max. I don't think that was... Well, it was not a full hook. The one was a bit tricky for Max, so he will feel like he's missed maybe a small opportunity, but overall, a strong start for the Estonian. Will be breaking off outside the box, as we mentioned. Indeed, the break, alternate break per 2. So this is the second of the 2, and oh, this is interesting. Felt like, hey, I missed something there. Now, both guys, I know they like to hit the break quite well. Like, they're not too shy to actually crush him. And even though it was a quite alright break, it wasn't head on, but hit him quite square, as you can see. Cue ball nicely past the side. Nothing really threatening the pocket.
No, and to add to that, so far, Tim, I have had the pleasure of commentating on just four break and runs in 16, nearly 16 matches, and that's pretty impressive. It just goes to show that the format of breaking outside the box is just causing the players a little bit of concern, and no one really getting it their way. And maybe the player to start really getting rewards from the break could be the player to progress quite handsomely in the tournament.
Yeah, of course, the break being such a huge factor always. I mean, it's not as big as when you're playing 8-ball, for example, but still, I mean, the player that makes 1 or 2 balls on the break occasionally is going to make a breaker run too. And for now, this match starts off to be quite a battle. No breaker runs yet. And is he going to roll this? No, I think he was trying to play the 1 into the 3-ball get just to see if he could get any cover, but this is going to look ominous, I think, for Max. Yeah, I mean, I think everybody that's watching was expecting this to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Max, with a relatively simple one-rail escape, mentioning the name Max over on our other table, Table 2 TV stream table, Felix Vogel taking on Max Benko. You may hear some applause coming from both tables. Oh, he's missed it, Tim.
Yeah, he's missed the ball completely. Like, I know for a fact that most of the, how do I say, most of the kickers, most of the players that, you know, like they like to use the cushion first, they actually pick a side of the ball which they would like to hit. Like, he was definitely trying to send the 1 towards the 10 and separate the balls. So I know he was trying to hit that side of the ball, but to miss the ball completely, kind of a shocking mistake. And, well, I gotta say, for a ball in hand, this is a bit in between, isn't it?
Yeah, and he probably wanted to come a bit lower for this too as well. Although a long 3 will not be a problem for Dennis to consider.
Yeah, and he kind of had to nudge the 10 ball there to open up, so to open the table a bit more for the 7 later on. But this is a bit of cueing needed. I mean, he will have to not just make the 3, but somewhat put some stroke in there. Draw the cue ball towards the 4. The good news is, even if there's just a little bit of draw on there, he should always be on the 4 ball.
He's managed to move that cue ball a lot further than I would have expected. Great power he's generated from that shot. That could have been the key shot in this run out, to be fair. It looked like he had a bit of awkward cueing over the 10 as well, but he thumped it in, Tim. And he's looking very nice now with the layout ahead of him.
Yeah, and this is where I think most of the people don't realize how good of a match we actually have right here. Both of them, they will leave themselves the proper angle to move the cue ball around. They're not gonna... Yeah, well, he stunned the cue ball off the rail, but overall, like, he's always gonna leave himself on the proper side of the ball. You're not gonna see them struggle moving the cue ball around. So how can you not run out in a situation like this? The only reason why you could not is maybe nerves, maybe losing focus. But I mean, they are very precise on what they're doing, like cue ball wise as well. And that's why I think this match, I mean, it could be a very close one. It could also be one of them playing absolutely phenomenal. Could be either way.
That's the point, Tim, and that's a really good point to make. It could be really, really close and a hard-fought contest, but these players, if there's just one small mistake from their opponent, they'll punish it, and it does allow them to be able to run away with matches and can make very, very good opponents look quite inferior. But that's why I looked forward to this one coming up on the schedule first thing this morning, Tim. And so far, Dennis winning the first 2 racks from his break. It will now be Mad Max Lechner up to break his first of the 2. But he'll be disappointed with that miss on the 1. And that really was the difference. But don't take anything away from Dennis. That was a wonderful clearance. He'll be happy getting back to his chair there, 2 in the lead.
Yeah, so Max has 2 breaks coming up, Geth.
Yeah, and I was about to say he's breaking from the same spot as Dennis, Tim. I wonder if he'll get rewarded.
Yeah, I have to say, different kind of style. I've played Bundesliga together with Max, so definitely have seen him break the balls with the big pop and the big breaks. But as you can see on this, I think he's more opting to get a solid stroke on the break. He's made one, and I mean, no, the run out is not easy, and no, the opening shot on the 1 is not a cookie either with the shape on the 2. But at least he's got a shot to make something happen.
I'll tell you something, Tim. I've got a feeling Max has got his break working, because he seemed to play that so purposefully at that pace. Maybe he's been feeling that the 1 ball's been coming up the table, and this leaves him the best chance of having another shot. But if he's managed to dial into something that the other players are still yet to find, that could be good signs for Max here.
Yeah, it was a bit strange. He was queuing over the 6 Geth and had to play with a bit of inside, you know, trying to move the cue ball over to get anything on the 2. So we'll have a tactical affair coming up. And this is a decent start, but an open look on the 2 ball though. So no real cover on the 2 ball.
No, and all the balls are really shuffling up towards the top of the table. To play a containing safety here, using the 5 would be very precise. He's gone for that. Just overrun it.
Yeah, it was the only shot to play, but yet such a small ball to play behind. And this is a bit of in between, as you can see. It's most of the tables would take this into the center, but not on these Predator tables. These are tough into the center. And oh, he was trying to get the cue ball behind the 5, but it just doesn't grab that much spin yet. So you could say maybe Dennis a bit of initiative to start off this 3rd rack. 4 ball though, still remains to be a challenge.
Oh, that's nicely done. Bringing the cue ball behind the 7. That really is the difference between this and Max's last shot. Getting good cover on the 1 really makes it difficult for the opponent. Well, I was about to say, Tim, escaping or looking to hit the 2 from that side should and could have opened the 4, but the 4 has remained by the 10, so that still will remain a problem for the players. He may have got away with that as well. That 5 ball getting in the way. Going airborne. Called a side pocket, Tim. Or has he just changed his mind?
I think he might have called the 3-railer on this. Might be looking to squeeze the cue ball a bit forward. No. Oh, he changed his mind. Shot clock. It's coming into play though, the shot clock. So, yeah, the time got him there, Gath. Wow.
Yeah, and I certainly think so.
I mean, in some way, it kind of worked out. At least for the offensive style Max was going to approach. The 6 ball came over to block the 4. If it did go, it won't be going right now.
No.
But yet, you will have to favor him playing the 2 in the center. And a safety roll up, play the 4 to the bottom side of the table and roll up on the 10. That must be the play. I just cannot imagine going aggressive from this point.
No, the only thing I would say is that running into the 10 and the 4, he should still be left on the red 3 to the top right corner, but I agree with you. I think going aggressive here may be more troublesome than it's worth.
Well, he might even... I was going to say he's not going to play safe, is he? No. I was going to say... The offensive approach, I'm not going to say he was never going to be able to open up the 4 and the 10. I just could not see a way how to also open up the 4 ball enough to be able to continue the run. So it's interesting that he chose to play this route, you would say.
I have to say, Tim, I also liked your idea of just taking the 2 and 3 and then playing safe off the 4, because it was, you could have really put Dennis in trouble. However, Max has got other ideas and he's left himself in shape to take this long 4 on.
Yeah, and he was forced into taking the 4 ball on. Definitely from that position, there was no safeties. And also, I mean, making the ball, now suddenly he's a favorite to win the rack. So, yes, things could have worked out for him, but just barely missing the 4. I think he kind of had somewhat of a result, but then it's definitely is going to play a bit of a 2-way. Look at the cue ball, trying to go behind the 5, but he has not called the bank.
He didn't call it.
He didn't. I mean, I don't think it was there, but you should always, just in case, call it, right? I mean,
well,
it's
absolutely.
quick to buy, but wow.
Well, I've seen some quite crazy calls just for insurance purposes in case a player did pot one. That was the time when you'd really want to see it, but well, that's now perhaps going to work in Max's favour.
Well, and you got to be honest, he kind of needed this type of favor, being down 2-0, and it's the first break of the 2 from him. Now,
yeah, I agree.
The 9 is tricky though. I mean, he's got a small angle. not sure, can he still play for anything on the 9 to the bottom right corner, or will he have to play for the center? And as I mentioned, everybody is always so nicely open in the chat, saying like, "Oh, he could easily play that to the side," and like you know what I talk about. But on these tables, just to float the ball in like that into the center is so tough. People don't realize how tough it is from this angle, and
No,
that's
I
why
agree.
if he has it, he's 100% shooting it into the corner, and that's what we're gonna see.
God, big inhale of composure for Max here. Appreciates the importance of this shot. Quite a big difference going 3-0 down to 2-1. Oh, what a 9-ball.
Yeah, and that's one thing, you know. Dennis maybe more he has the ability to really like get loose and play a style where it looks like he doesn't even care about it. But then on the opposite we have Max that, like, as you can see on the 9, he really settled down, made sure that his pre-shot routine was so on point that he made the 9 ball look easy. So I think with the two styles at the moment, I think it's interesting to see who's gonna come out on top. It was an important run out too.
Yeah, I think that was, as you just said, an important point for Max to get on the board. He just felt that Dennis taking a 3-0 lead would put pressure on this break now from Max. However, now, just trailing by 1, he'll be feeling that there's plenty of opportunity left in this match. He's breaking from the same spot, Tim, but hasn't made anything this time. And a good look at the 1, you'd have to say, for Dennis here.
Yeah, the interesting thing I have to say with this breaking from outside the box on 10 ball is the fact that with the angle, like, being a bit more outwards, if you hit it just a little bit not square, a little bit off, that already means that the ball's going towards the side or not going anymore. Ooh. Ooh.
I know exactly what you were thinking, Tim. That looked like it was going in off the 5 into the side pocket.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of a weird nudge on the 5 and the cue would have gone down the drain. So I'm sure he was a bit tight there. I'm sure he felt the pressure a bit, but still,
Well,
he's on the 2, and anything, just drop the ball in and he should be on the 3 ball, right?
Absolutely. And I have to just bring you back to what you were saying about the break and agree with you, Tim. Just anything slightly off centre and the ball start dragging in towards one side of the table. And that's really what brings me back to what I was saying about the break and runs. And I've not seen so many. I've seen a lot of return break runs from the break. But I think this format of breaking outside the box and 2 breaks per player is really making it interesting for the players, and also it's been giving us some quite interesting scorelines.
Yeah, I just think that breaking from the center, at some point it just started to be too easy with how nicely the balls are racked, having the tables tapped. And this breaking from outside the box, it's like, even if you hit it just a little bit off to the sides, now suddenly the balls are not going anymore. So the complexity of the situation definitely has risen. I mean, it definitely made everything a lot tougher. And now suddenly, especially playing 10 ball, we'll see more strategy, more quality overall in play, I think.
Yep, couldn't have put it better myself. That's exactly what we're experiencing it now, and it's great. It's been making for some really exciting matches, and very rarely has a player been able to run away with it when they've been of similar caliber? I was about to say, Dennis is only a year older than Max. These guys have been playing together on the European scene for such a long time. They will know very well what each other are capable of.
Yeah, I mean, don't forget, Dennis won the Las Vegas Open, Pro Billiard Series event. The Predator Las Vegas Open, I believe, last year. He also finished runner-up, I believe, in the World 10 Ball. Or at least top 3. I'm sure it was top 3. So, he's been definitely on the later stages of the events, world events. And then Max, he finished quarterfinal in the US Open 2021, then the final in 2022, and another quarterfinal in 23. So, like, you're not gonna be top 8 in the US Open 3 years in a row and not being able to play well. I mean, that's why I think most of the people don't realize how well both of these guys play and how great this matchup actually is.
Yep, I agree. Dennis taking one against Max's break, though. So the first break of the match so far, you'd have to say, gives him a 3-1 lead. And we'll see him back to the table for his now next round of 2 breaks. And I have to say, he's not really been getting the fortune from the break as of yet. So if that's still not got working, there's plenty of room for Max to maneuver his way back into this. Persisting from the same spot. Well, Tim, that's about as good as you can hit them from a square hit perspective. Control of the cue ball, fantastic. The 6 was threatening to drop, so was the 5, but Max will be back to the table.
Well, if you're reading the balls on the break, obviously they know exactly how to change the pace, the hit, the impact. I'm quite sure he's going to try and take some pace off the break, actually. The balls, I don't think he actually crushed them, but they came up too high very easily. So we'll have to make a big change, and this is a bit odd. Look at how much he's lost the cue ball.
Yeah.
Is he even on the 2 ball? That's my biggest question right now.
I'm not sure what effect he was looking to get from the cue ball there. It did look like he wanted the cue ball down this end of the table. And that's not going to be too friendly. He may be able to see enough of this to take the pot on, but be interesting to see what his cueing will be like over the 5 ball.
Yeah, it might have just, everything might have worked out just to cue by the 5, still be on the 2, straight enough to float it in and be on the 3, but as you can see, things maybe have worked out, but it's a distance though. Oh, and he's played a good shot. Nice inside spin, bit of right hand English on the cue ball, and he's back on track. You're supposed to make this, but yet, as you can see, did use everything off the corner there to make a drop.
Yeah, he made that look easy, in all honesty. The cueing itself was very difficult. So play it with the inside, as you alluded to, and hold for that. Ooh. Was great, but he may just have dropped short here.
Yeah, you would say almost any angle on the 4 would have been fine, but this is just in between to where even if he draws into the long rail, he could land himself behind the 10. So it's still a funny one. Needs another, well, recovery shot, definitely. I think the previous shot he played on the 2 ball was already tricky. So he needs another one. Found the rail in between the corner and the 10. Played a delicate shot there, but I think he's back on track. Now another cut on the 5. Anything center of the table and he should be back where he belongs, in my opinion. Yeah, perfect.
That should work very nicely, Tim.
And I mean, if you look at the scoreline, it's so easy to fall behind with a big gap in these races to 7, breaking per 2 racks. Like, it's easy to now suddenly have like a 4-game window, or 3 or 4, 5. So making any mistake in this rack puts Dennis on 4. 3-game window. He does have 2 breaks, so he's guaranteed somewhat of a lead. Before you know, you're in the loser qualification round. So kind of a important moment. You know, it's like these key moments where you have to be there in a match. This is a must for Max to at least be able to make a match out of this battle between, well, 2 world-class players.
I have to say, Tim, knowing both the capabilities of these players, I would really enjoy watching this go all the way, but I'm pretty sure both players would rather not and take it a little simpler. But that shot on the 2 for me was absolutely fantastic, especially with the difficulty of cueing. So good signs from both players. And as you said, bringing the scoreline back towards him. And he will have to wait for Dennis Graber's next break. But this occasion has made a ball, Tim. Look where the 1s ended up.
Yeah, it will be a battle all about this 1 ball. I feel like maybe the 5 could pose a threat, maybe later on, but just wondering, can he still bank the 1 ball down table and bring the cue ball 2 rails behind the 10, like to freeze it up on there? Looks like he's taking it a lot easier, but this hit on the 1 ball is a lot easier too. Now, easier said than done, of course. I mean, you'll have to make a proper hit. If anything he leaves on, he's going to lose the rack, so there's more danger to this. And the shot clock got Dennis there a little bit too.
Yeah, that's an interesting point to make as well, Tim. It's twice now that Dennis has just been a little bit oblivious to the shot clock.
And it's funny. I know that there has been a moment where Dennis was on his way to win 3 EuroTour titles in a row. And back then, when he was playing so well, trust me, he was probably one of the fastest players around. So there's no single thought in my mind that you could say he's a slow player. But yet, now twice in this match, we've played 5 racks. Twice, he actually came up a bit short on time. So might be just a match, just the moment itself, but it's okay enough. But I think Dennis might be able to play a good cue ball behind the 6 ball now. Take a bit more risk on the on the object ball, excuse me. Take more risk on the object ball, but if you get the cue ball behind the 6, play the 1 into the 3 ball. Or maybe even open up the 5. I don't mind this at all. Oh, he's played real soft. And it leaked out too.
I think he was expecting that to catch the 5, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
This is cuttable. Ooh. I didn't expect to see that. Max missed the 1. It was a thin cut. But let's have a look there. Well, he didn't seem to have a bad contact. But not a time to give ball in hand to Dennis here. And really it's going to be about the 3 to 5. He's having a little look over it now. Now, he's played that purposefully. And it looks like the cue ball will now make contact with the 5. Yeah, came off the rail first.
Delicate little bump, but controlled everything really nicely. Could have went wrong actually, pushing the 5 to the bottom rail, for example. So it always looks easy, but small little details have to be right. And such a big thing. I mean, Max was actually shooting to make this 3 each. So this match being close definitely from the start.
I'm
Then
still a bit shocked.
The 8 ball is could pose a threat.
Yeah, agreed. Especially with the 10 ball blocking it. 7 to the 8 is no gimme. Now, will he be coming across the table, long rail, bottom right long rail, top left wrong rail, and looking to get above the 8 as we're looking at it? Yeah, somewhere around there. It's a big shot. One of the first extensions he's likely called in the tournament. Oh.
Yeah, look at the cue ball. He's actually landed absolutely perfect on the 8, but yet he needed a bit more of that corner. Look at this. Just barely touching the knuckle on the long rail.
We saw a little bit similar play from Mieszko Fortunski yesterday, and he was just running around the table playing shots for fun, but with these tight pockets on the Predator arc table, the moment he started to give it a bit more premise, they were rattling. So just need to be really particular if you're going to be putting that much pressure on the cue ball. Now, what's Max looking at here for this 7? Oh.
Well, whatever he's looking at, he's got to be fast. The cue. Oh, this is ruthless. That is just brutal. He had only 2 seconds left, and he said, "Let's just drop down, no pre-strokes, hit the ball, and let's call the bank. You know, why not?" Beautiful cross side, and he's got shape on the 8. This could be 3 each.
Ooh. Used all the pocket, Tim. But what a last-minute bank shot to put himself in position to get back to 3-3. He'll be one of the players calling for 10-second shot clocks in the future. Three, and Mad Max to break his next set of 2 breaks, Tim. So back to evens, so to speak.
Well, you have to say Max definitely one of the players that at times can use quite a bit of time. Like, I mean, I'm not saying he's a slow player, but he's definitely a player that calculates the percentages every shot in general, you would say. And well, with the shot clock being so close, I think it could help him out as well. Now, as you can see, the players have taken a timeout. In the background, Felix Vogel and Max Benko going at it. Captain Davis, myself, Tim de Ruiter. I think we're going to go for short break 2. But don't go anywhere. We're at 3 each. It's a race to 7. It's only a race to 4 from this point. We'll be right back. And welcome back, everybody, to this winner qualification match between Dennis Grabe and Maximilian Lechner. What a match we've had so far. It's only a race to 4, as I just mentioned, before the break. And it will be Max breaking the next 2 racks. Captain Davis, Tim de Ruiter in the booth. Kath, bit of an early timeout, but I think both players realizing that it's crunch time. This is the moment where the difference could be made.
Yeah, I agree. Both players keen to book their place in the last 32. I have to say, I thought the timeout was a little bit early, but clearly these players fully appreciate what's going on out there, and Max has got it back to 3 apiece and now starts his round of 2 breaks. So from whatever momentum Dennis had built up early stages, that's now been snuffed out and we're back to all level. Made a ball, Tim. Didn't keep my eye on the 1 ball as to where it landed, but Max will stay at the table.
Well, the interesting thing is that he was breaking a bit more soft, a bit more careful with the cue ball in general on his first 2 breaks, but now he was putting quite some effort into the break. And he's played a clever shot here. Not just to bring the cue ball behind the 2 and the 9, but also to open up the balls a little bit around the 10. The 3 ball now available. And, well, how are you going to get to the 1 ball? That's obviously the biggest problem right now.
Yeah, I really like that shot. I really do. It's going to pose Grabber with a challenge because there's nothing obvious sticking out here for me. Okay, deliberate foul. We'll give ball in hand to Max. The 2, well, the 2 was already blocked by the 3. If anything, Dennis has pushed them a bit closer together to take a combination on.
It looks to be a bit off angle though, so I think he's going to try and get the cue ball just in between the 2 and the 3 ball. Small window, so he will have to really play a good cue ball on this. Well, you could say that's not really the cue ball he's wanted to have. I'm not going to say he cannot take this into the corner. He's going for the corner actually, but it's one where, you know, when you're not feeling too great or when the pressure gets high, this is easily missed.
Oh, he looked to have hit that really well, but it's not dropped. Max not happy about that result. And more importantly, he's handed advantage back to Dennis. And what can Dennis do? He's got nice shape to be able to come back out across the table for the 4. The 5 needs to go in the bottom right corner, unless he nudges it, which he's done there. But he may have blocked the 4.
I'm quite sure the 4 doesn't go. You could, well, the facial expression says enough there. He will have to roll up on the 5. I mean, there, of course, there's a relatively easy save on this. But missed opportunity, and I mean, I think Max might be able to go real first and still slice this in. Maybe even get shape, cue ball around the 7. You gotta go. You gotta go for this.
Yeah, and it would be a really good one for Max to make. It will allow him just to put that last shot out of his mind. Ooh, not thin enough though.
Yeah, but look at how the pace of the cue ball he's played. Even if he had made it, he would have not been on the 5. So I'm just wondering, like, I don't feel like he really went for it.
No, I agree, and that's a good point to make. I mean, making it or not, you always want to ensure you've got the cue ball you need for the next shot, so maybe just a little bit out of sorts from the shot before. But Dennis will not hesitate to take advantage, will he?
No, definitely not. But I kind of feel like maybe Max was playing it with a bit of a safety in mind kind of option. Hitting it thick and still sliding the cue ball to the left side of the 7. But it's either you play the safety completely or you go aggressive there. I don't think there was an in between.
Well, it's now very much looking in Dennis's favour. So if there were any advantage to be taken from the timeout, it initially looked like Dennis. But for me, Tim, this is an important one for him to take against Max's break. Max will get the second of his two. How important that will prove to be, well, we'll have to wait and see, Tim, but I feel that that was a very useful one for Dennis to win. Just a few things not going Mad Max's way. And if anything, that could be the difference between the two players so far, but only one rack difference between them in score. So there's still plenty of room left in this match.
Ooh. Oh, he's hit it off quite a bit there. Cue ball going straight into the long rail. And also the 9 ball just staying up. He's a bit all over the place on the break, I feel like. And now look at this. Straight in on the 1, or maybe even a slight angle. And it's all about the 1 and the 2, I think, Eth.
I do. A couple of balls threatened to drop from Max's break, and just look at the bit of dejection on his face as he sat down. He must be thinking that there's a couple of rolls just going against him at the moment, and maybe he just needs to ride that out. But yeah, the difference between a ball dropping or not, and if Dennis can develop shape on the 3 from this 2, he's in very good position, Tim.
Yeah, as I mentioned, it's really about, it was about the 1 and the 2. He's on the 3 ball, and I mean everything else is wide open as it can get. Like, go 1 rail, you're always on the 4. You have the 5 ball over the corner. And then, I mean, anything in the center of the table, you're on the 6 already. So, in this case, it's a little bit more about composure. At times, everybody's going to feel like, hey, this is a must run out. I cannot make any mistakes. So, sometimes the pressure kind of creeps up. But as long as you take care of the cue ball, I was not expecting any trouble. I still think he can go 1 rail towards the 6. Doesn't want to get anywhere close by the 7 to maybe go 2 rails, or, well, as I say, you don't want to get anywhere close.
No. And that will do nicely to get shape from the 6 to the 7, and, well, winning both racks against Max's break after the timeout. Well, that coupled with a couple of sort of rolls going against Max, you might just start to see his belief just waning slightly, and maybe it's going to take a little visit to the table to get that confidence back. But yeah, simple 9 and 10 here, Tim, and Dennis to take a 5-3 lead, and he'll be 2 away from victory. More importantly, it'll be his turn to break, and he will get 2 breaks. So there is a small chance, Tim, that Dennis can take the match with these 2 breaks, and I have to say, Max hasn't really done much wrong, just a few rolls not going his way.
Yeah, you gotta say, overall this match, we haven't really seen too many mistakes. But Dennis, I mean, based on my own personal experience, playing 10 ball, against tennis, it's a tough game because he does way off the options. He does play good defense. He's still an aggressive shooter, so if you give him something, he's not shy to shoot. And he's now made a ball on the break. Doesn't have something on the one, but definitely has opportunities to play a good safety once again. And you will just have to play such a strong tactical battle against him to be able to beat him. That's where he wins a lot of matches.
Predator EUROTOUR in our 20th year. And this is the first in our 20-year history that we have a men's event here in Luxembourg at the wonderful GRIDX venue. We were watching some videos of the venue earlier with it being constructed. What a place we have here. And what a shot Dennis has decided to open with to put Max in trouble. It does look jumpable, or is that 3 just hampering it? No.
Well, we're going airborne. Just pretend you're trying to shoot the cue ball into the corner. That's it. It's just that easy.
He's not comfortable. He keeps looking over to his left a little.
Kind of. Oh, this looks a bit off though. Yeah, it looked like when he was aiming, already looked to be going towards the right side of the one. Yet, he's left a difficult opener on the one ball. But yeah, he's gonna be feeling disappointed not to make that and have something on the two ball.
No, but this brings us back to what you were saying about Dennis earlier. He's not afraid to take these shots on. He elected not to on this occasion. And I'm not too sure he's got the best result either, Tim. Is there value in taking this on?
I don't know. It's, you know, sometimes. Oh, you see the pacey though. It's a bit of a bump. Well, oh no. Oh, this is so. Yeah, I was gonna say this is so nasty. Like, if that three ball just landed like to where he's frozen to the side pocket point, it's like that awkward spot nobody actually wants to shoot from. And well, the three ball was laying over the side, so he's played a good cut. He took his chances to get on the two ball, two rails.
Can he punch this through the knuckle? It does look so close. He's having a real good look there, Tim.
I mean, based on his expression earlier on, I would say this is not on. And it's kind of scary. But you will indeed see him trying to press the three ball through the knuckle. Stunning the ball quite a bit. But now, from this angle, you would say it's okay. Oh. we couldn't see it from this angle, but that cue ball hopping quite a bit. That cue ball was flying.
Let's have a look at that again. Whoa! Nearly stopped on a sixpence. Wow. Fortunately, he's got a tricky four now. But good shot on the three. Stays at the table.
Yeah, and then again, like I said, this is another one of these key moments where, you know, like you could play a perfect match, but if you're not there at the key moments, you easily can lose a match like this too. And this is a must run out actually from this point. And look at how clean he's made the four. This is a brilliant shot, and he's on the six. Is he gonna play? Maybe open up the 9 and be on the 7? Do you think there is maybe a trick to this?
Oof. I would be very worried about leaving something in the way. He might have to go into this a bit harder than No, he's done that well.
Yeah, took a little bit of a medicine there, knowing that the 9 was going to be opened up. Maybe a bit more distance on the 7. But yet, you have to trust also the slide of the table. If you hit this softly, pocket speed, onto the long rail, as you see, it still slides in. That's with the new cloth. So, I think in general, the positional shot you're playing is more important than actually the pocketing of the ball, because you got some margin of error on these tables.
Yeah, agreed. And this, a big rack for Max to stop Dennis getting on the hill. You'd ideally like to prevent that from happening at all. But a useful one against Dennis's break. Dennis will return for a second, and I have to say, Tim, if Max can get this rack under his belt as well, good things may come for him as they both sit on 5 then.
Yeah, there is that shot into the center. Kinda lost the cue ball. But then on the 4, he's played a really good recovery shot. With the back a little bit against the wall. Not all the way yet. He's not pressed against the wall yet. But Dennis will once again be breaking to bring himself onto the hill. And also financially, to get through to the single elimination stage, that is a big difference. So, ooh,
Look at the 9.
yeah, that 9 ball being, well, you would say, a bit of a lucky savior, because he would have left something onto the 1 ball, definitely with the 5 over the corner, and now you're forced into taking on this jump, but it's not guaranteed to have something on the 1 ball after too. So this is a calculated risk. Make the 1 and the 5. Hopefully. Oh, this is probably the worst that could have happened, Geth.
Yeah, he's made both of them. This now is a tricky 2 to take on if he elects to.
Can you imagine, like, if he hits it just a tad to the left or the right, I think the 1 ball would have stayed over the corner pretty decently. But now I don't even think he could be on the 3 ball if he makes this. So we're gonna see a safety. Oh, the time got him a bit there. He was already on the shot, calling his extension. But yet, before you know it, as you can see, 10 seconds, they go by real fast. Ooh. Does he?
Could he have... He's smiling, Tim.
Well, that's the thing. Like, some people, they play pool and they have something like this happen, and you know, they feel like they played something well, or like they don't really see that kind of shot as luck. But as a pro, everything that happens on the table, you feel like you can control anything that happens. So he definitely got a bit of luck. Does this go to the top left? It does go to the top left. What a shot he's played there. He's landed absolutely horrible, though. I'm saying a little bit to the left of the 6, and this 3 ball should be one to make. So we're gonna see another safety. Such a huge rack. This is, as you mentioned, to keep Dennis off the hill. Oh, and this is gonna be on.
Oh.
He's hit it way too pacey too.
He's going to be running into the 9. Can he follow through with a bit of right-hand effect to keep the cue ball up, or? Interesting. May just naturally start to roll up towards the 4. It's a thin one to take on. You refused it, Tim. I have to say, I do like that shot. If he didn't feel it was on, or even more so, getting good position on the 4. Keeping Dennis in trouble. Good things should come. Missed it by a whisker. And that is the reward that Max was looking for.
Yeah, then again, I don't think to hit the 3 ball, I don't think that was such a big challenge. But to hit it on the proper side and being able to change the situation into something profitable, I think that's where the challenge was laying, and that's probably the reason why he's missed it too. And this now for 5 each.
And it will be change of break, or rather player breaking after this. Little angle would be nice. And after a couple of rolls that have gone against him and a couple of situations that have not been in his favour, Maximilian, even with a little bit of disappointment and a little giggle through this match, he's still in this, very much so.
Oh, definitely, and I also do believe, I do think that he has the next 2 breaks.
Yep, correct.
So, I mean, this rack comes with the opportunity to possibly qualify into the last 32. Like, that's the thing. Now, instead of the usual alternate break, it's alternate break per 2 racks. It also gives you the feeling you gotta think positively and say, listen, 2 breaker runs and I'm done. Like, you gotta think that way. It's 5 each. Wow, this is, I mean, it's a very high quality match. Both are not playing any idiotic shots, no bad cue balls. Like, in general, it's either they've just missed, or like this, for example, the jump, unlucky stuff happening. Like, it's a bit in between, but in the open positions, both showing that they're really ready to show what they're capable of. And well, we're locked in. 5 each. Max breaking.
What a time to get your break working. This is the opportunity that Max has worked hard actually through trailing during this match. He's worked hard to get here. He's here. He has 2 breaks ahead of him, and he only needs 2 racks to take this match. But so does his opponent. 5-5 race to 7. Place in the last 32 up for grabs.
Oh, there is something. There is something. He's made one, and the 9. He's timed to move. Yeah, that 1 ball goes by the 9. This is a wonderful chance. Look at this.
was pretty textbook as well. Both side pockets threatening to accept balls. The 7 didn't drop in the left side, but the 4 did. Now, will he be coming underneath the 3? We're at that point, Tim, where he's got us a little quiet in the box. We're watching eagerly, and that cue ball tracking up the table may have just come far enough to take this on. Oh, or is it? Oh.
Yeah, perfect. Absolutely perfect. Look at the slightest angle he's got on the 5 to move over for the 6 in the other center.
That was a really
I mean,
well-played shot.
at times you're like asking yourself, hey, what could go wrong here if you look at like maybe even traveling from the 9 to the 10, like with a bit of pressure, but this is laying really well. And he would overcome the deficit too, Geth.
Yeah. He'd love to put himself on the hill first in this match. Dennis had threatened on a couple of occasions to run away with it, and a few rolls of the ball may have just made Max ask a couple of questions, but he's held in there, Tim, and he's made a useful block on the 10 to hold for the 7, because I did think he'd left himself a bit of too much of an angle on the 6, but this is no guaranteed position on the 8.
Oh, this could land a bit in between. Needs the cue ball to go a bit more. Yeah, perfect. I was gonna say if it lands just half a diamond short, now suddenly the 8 can be tricky. But as you can see, almost ball in hand shape. So he's got the pace of the table. He's gonna leave himself enough angle on the 9 to move the cue ball more naturally, but a bit more straight, so he will have to punch the cue ball around the angles. I like going 3 rails, honestly. Center ball, bit of right spin. And that's the way to play it. He's on the 10, and this is gonna put the Austrian on the hill. One step closer to the single elimination stage. And he will have one more break to come.
He will, Tim. Fantastic. Couldn't have timed it better. Showing good resilience. Not taking anything away from Dennis either. I'm sure if given the chance, Dennis will still fancy taking this match. But like I mentioned, the word resilience, there was just a couple of occasions where some players may have dropped their head from the run of the balls and from the result of certain jump shots, for instance, but this is fantastic. And it's actually living up to the expectations we were setting at the beginning. Just to let you know, over on our other table is a matchup between Felix Vogel and Max Benko. Felix leading by 1 rack, 5 4 in that match. We also have the Women's EuroTour event underway. Please do visit EPBF.com and you can keep updated with all the scores, fixtures and news. Big break for Max, leading 6-5 on the hill, race to 7.
Well, he does stay at the table. I don't think he has something... Well, of course, people like to prove me wrong and tell me there's always something aggressive to play, but I don't think there's any value taking the bank on with the area to get on the 2 ball is kind of slim. Like, it's like a stun follow on the bank too, so it makes the bank a lot more sensitive. And I kind of like bringing the cue ball 2 rails above the 6, sending the 1 down table. So I think that's what he's playing. Oh, it's close.
Big bounce.
Didn't get it. But yet, still somewhat of a challenge. I think he's a bit unlucky to leave a window between the 5 and the 8. But not a shot you can lose the match with. If he would have gone for the bank, that's one, like, you make that mistake, now suddenly Dennis will break and run on the hill. You feel like, oh, I think, yeah, I was going to say, I think...
Yeah.
Well, just like that, looks like Max is now shooting for the win.
It's quite a big flip, in all honesty. Dennis was looking in position to get to 5 with his set of 2 breaks to come. It really did look like he was in prime position, so full credit to Max. Of course, he's got to do the business here in this rack, but with ball in hand, you feel it's going to give him the best opportunity to. And while we have the opportunity, just to let you know, 45 minutes from now, we will start the next round. And coming up on this table, Daniel Masol will be playing against Mieszko Fortunski. And over on table 2, Arseny Sebastianov against Kostic. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Back to Max with a look at getting position from 2 to 3.
Yeah, I know we are both already excited to have the next match on, but indeed, there's no guarantee that this is done yet. As you can see, he has to play for the 5 into the left center. So a bit more cue ball work needed to be done. And of course, I mean, there's always a bit of pressure closing out the match. Sure, when these players are playing any amateur player, the nerves are really not going to be there. But when they're playing each other, that's where usually the craziest feelings start to come up. I mean, the good news, the loser of this match is not out. The loser of this match does have another opportunity to go through to the single elimination. I think the loser qualification will be around 3 p.m. I think. Something to that, so a bit of a break as well.
Yeah, that's a good point to make. Both these players unbeaten so far over the past 3 days. We have 1 more day to come in this 4-day event. But yeah, the losing player will get a second bite of the cherry and just come a longer route. It's looking good for Max here, Tim.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at Dennis, he knows what's... Oh! I
Whoa!
was gonna say he knows what's coming, but that is just unreal. Oh my dear
Oh
lord,
man,
what have we just seen?
he's just looked to squeeze a bit more angle to guarantee coming out for the 10. In fact, he came out too much for the 10. But wow, what a swing. And this would not be a nice way for Max to go out.
Well, I'm not even gonna start about Dennis being able to break the next rack. My first doubt is, can he still slice this in, run the cue ball back and forth? Or are we just gonna play something smart? I think you should be slicing this in. But as you can see, he didn't go for it. And I mean, it's not behind the 10, but it's enough not to be able to pocket the 9. So straight back it is. He's gonna go aggressive. Sure, he's gonna try and shoot again for the win.
Oh, what a
Wow,
shot.
wow, wow. How well has he hit that? And he's trading on the 10. Geth, what an ending to this match. It will be Maximilian Lechner qualifying through to the last 32 single elimination stage with a beautiful, beautiful straight back on the 9. Captain Davis, Tim de Ruiter in the booth for this one. Thank you so much for joining us at Pro Billiard Series. And we will be back very shortly, as you just mentioned, at 1 p.m. So that's in about 40 minutes-ish, with Daniel Masol and Mieszko Fortunski. We'll be right back, but make sure to stay tuned on the Pro Billiard Series channels. See you soon.
Anthony Sebastianov, Lazar Kaspic on table number 8, Miha Vicic Schneider, Fatjon Lamche on table number 9, Mariusz Knitecki, Karl Knappberg on table number 10, Revo Maimre, Christian Mylva on table number 11, Mariusz Konechny, Fabio Rizzi, table number 12, Michael Saga, Alexa Petzel, table number 13, Eric Matern, Quintin Pongers, table number 14, Leon Schroth, Andrea Klasovic, table number 16, Mario He, Luca Mann, table number 17, Ramazan Dinscher, Daniel Gutenberger, table number 18, Ike Andoni Echeverria, Dominik Jaschritzer, and on table number 19, Emil André Gangflot, Tom Kurz. Have a short practice, one rack each, and then please start your match as soon as possible, except of table 1 and 2, they have to wait for the goal for the TV crew. I wish you all a good match. on table number 15. Tiziano Rosso, Martin Kempter. Tiziano Rosso, Martin Kempter, table number 15. The next match on table number 7, Sambor Stachowiak, Mika van Berkel. Sambor Stachowiak, Mika van Berkel, table number 7.
We have a winner's qualification match between Daniel Masol and Mieszko Fortunski, two of the best players from Poland. This is Eric Orlovsson bringing you the action with Tim de Ruyter. Close match here, Tim. Just wait for Tim to come on in 1 second. So race to 7, 10 ball. Pardon me, it's a losers round 5, not a winner's qualification match.
Yeah, I have to say, Eric, I'm hoping you can hear me now. I have to say, Mieszko looks like he's lost quite a bit of weight. Haven't really seen him much recently, so looking forward to see if he's still in prime shape.
Yeah, both players with a ton of firepower. Expect some break and run possibilities in this match. Fortunski with the 4-railer off the first break. Likely going to go safe behind the 8 here. Yeah, as you were saying, a little surprising that we haven't seen Mieszko in some of the Pro Billiard series as of late. He did play in a lot in the early parts of 2025, but it seemed like he was more absent in the later parts and early parts of 2026.
Well, there have been times where he was, well, definitely the most successful player as a Pole on the European Championships. Like, I believe there's been 1 or 2 years. So, for the people that are not so familiar with him, if you're into pool, we know there's so many good Polish players. He's definitely amongst them.
Yeah, very fluent, talented player. Just coming with a good save here out of the gate. Masol was a part of the Polish team that was runner-up at the World Team Championships this year. Just seems to be gaining in confidence on the overall international tour. Former winner of the Qatar Open, $100,000 first prize.
Well, and also in the Pro Billiard Series events, he's had good runs. Did really well in Puerto Rico with the Puerto Rico Open. And look at this for a result, Eric. That's kind of brutal. But he's made a solid hit, though.
Yeah, I think he hit it how he wanted there. Could never have legislated for the cue ball going right behind the 9, but got a bit of a reward. Fortunski's in a tough spot now. Look at this, Tim. Getting himself out of a bad spot there. Swerve to kicking the 1 right in. Nothing offensive on the 2, but he'll be happy to still be at the table here. So he's going to have a 2-way bank opportunity here. Short, played that way on purpose. Leaving the 2 in a safe spot, and he's got Masol in a bad spot here.
Yeah, I kind of feel like he has to go over to the left. I'm not even sure if he can go deep enough into the right long rail. He's looking at the... I think this is... He will have to load the cue ball up with a lot of spin if he actually goes in front of the side.
2 balls kicked in within the first 3 innings here, Tim. So we're getting a glimpse of these high-level world-class players. Bit of luck involved. Definitely calculated results.
Yeah, the table playing quite fast. As you can see, he barely did something with the cue ball, but already going by the 9. Was trying to lay a couple balls in between. Still all right, though. Is he still thinking about kicking this, or do you think he's gonna try and hit this real thin?
I almost feel like he has the middle of the 3 if he wants to try and stop the cue ball near the 10. Tough shot. 3's going to be running into the 7. Wow.
Or you bank it in.
3 outside.
Wow.
Yeah, 3 outside the box shots in the first couple innings here. We're being treated to some great pool already. Holding serve won't be as big as if they were playing an 8-ball tournament. Less break and runs involved overall in 10-ball, but still a goal. Jesko did have the first break here. Looks like he's going to be able to hold it. What would your guess be on break and run percentage with tap balls under these conditions?
Well, if they would be able to break from the center, I've seen sets where, like a race to 8, let's say. Like, I've seen sets going 6 each with only break and runs back and forth. But now with the just a little bit outside of the box break, this really messes up the percentages. I think maybe 1 out of 3, maybe like 30%-ish.
I think you're right. Yeah, not over 40.
No. Could have done a little bit more there, actually, to get closer onto the 10.
Yeah, a little more distance than ideal here. Just got it down, though. Holds his first break at 2 in this race to 7. Showing the strength of the field here with both these players being on the loser side at this point. Josh Filler also in contention this week. Victor Zielinski. Just to name a couple upper world-class players in the field.
Well, you're naming the ones that are most known, but there is other players around there, like Arseny Sebastianov is in it. Daniel Gutenberger, Emil André Gangflet, Mario Hay, Max Lechner. So there's so many good players. The EuroTour is so tough. Crazy tough events. I mean, there's so many players that have done actually better in major events than actually in the EuroTour itself. Just to show how tough it is to win one.
Jesko with the same 4-railer down on his first 2 breaks. Has a shot at offense here. Be a little tough to get the cue ball moving back towards the 2. Misfired. First offensive chance for Masol. Don't believe the 2 past the 3 into the left middle, but he is having a look over there, so it looks like it does go. It'll complicate things a lot less. Next movement is from the 4 to the 5. Like going around 2 or 3 rails towards the 5, Tim, or possibly just drawing up the left side?
Yeah, I kind of like drawing up to the left side, but oh, he was. Yeah. I mean, if it doesn't go, do you fancy maybe playing a safety just to roll up on the 8?
I think it goes. But was he having a look over like it didn't? I might have missed that.
Yeah, he looked a bit. Well, he was doubting it, at least.
Okay. Yeah, it looks okay that it does pass. 2 rails back now. 2 rail float likely. He can go to the 3rd rail if he wants. The angle's... Well, I thought he was going to draw for a second. Cued a little lower than he contacted.
The weirdest thing is also if he really had punched it, I think he might have had a chance to run into the 10, which would have been real bad. So, kind of looked like he played a stun follow-ish. And, well, he's landed nicely on the 5 just to be queuing a little bit over the 9, but should be okay. Stunning this, 1 rail off. Straight towards the 7.
Ooh, almost like he got a bad contact. I don't think he did, though. Queuing over the 9. Got him a bit there. Wouldn't expect a player of Masol's stature to miss a reasonably easy one by that amount.
Yeah, definitely one of the more shocking mistakes so far today. And also this safety gives Masol a lot of opportunities. Just
Yeah, he's
has
right
to
back
figure
in.
out
Looks
where
like
to
he's
send the
gotten away
5
with
ball
it.
to.
Hasn't covered the 5, but the cue ball looks to be playing into a scratch, regardless of which pocket he plays the 5 in. Might be just missing both scratches on the long rail. He's looking to the short rail. I think it's tough to get the cue ball all the way through to the short rail if he plays the 5 in the bottom left.
Yeah, I kind of feel like he will have to play for the overcut on the 5, bringing the cue ball maybe behind the 9. 5
I
ball
like
under the
that.
10. I mean, when you're queuing the ball nicely, these are not so scary, but you know, sometimes when you're not feeling it properly, to hit it that thin can be scary. But look at how well he's played this, Eric.
Yeah, right in line. 10's even covering some of the jumping angle for the 5. Seen 2 balls kicked in already. Put them very low percentage here, but they've surprised us a couple times so far. It's the whole ball this time. Ball in hand now for Fortunski and looking to take an early lead in this match. Masol still thinking back to the 5 that he missed earlier in the rack, likely. Straight here, going to be tough to get the cue ball far from the rail, but should be able to cheat the rail side of the pocket. Come straight back.
Yeah, I think even if he leaves the cue ball just where it was, yeah, just where he was playing from, made sure to not be cueing off the rail as you mentioned. I have to say, Fortunski so far taking a bit more time. I mean, I've also seen him play a bit reckless, as in, you know, fast pace, no fear, you know. Now it kind of looks like he's playing a very solid pace, making sure he gets the job done kind of style.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he is so talented that he can play in that kind of aloof type mentality, but I have seen that, and I have seen times that it's gone bad for him too. He looks up to the task here in this match. And Masol with a quick break, only 2 games in.
Oh, wow.
Surprised he's going to break this quickly, so maybe he's just going for water, but not back yet, so we'll take an early break here too, and if they do come back earlier than expected, we'll be here with you. Masol back in the arena now. Coming to the 2 breaks of his own. This is Eric Orlovsson here with Tim de Ruyter.
Yeah, I have to say, it's been a very long time since I've seen a timeout after 17 minutes in. It's not something very usual, so you would indeed say he's going for water or maybe just a restroom break, but I mean, could be some danger later on not having a timeout when you need it mentally instead of a pee break. I mean, yeah, it has to be something like that, you would say. Oh, look at that cue ball. Dead stopped, center of the table. I don't think they come any better.
Yeah, picture perfect break here for Masol. Ball in the second row down. Another ball down. 1 ball controlled nicely. Cue ball controlled nicely. Rack's looking pretty good. Gonna have to play the 5 in the bottom left. That should be okay, considering where the 4 is. First break and run of the match likely coming here. Right on pace with our 1 and 3 prediction, Tim.
Yeah, so far, so good. The ideal run out on paper, but obviously you still have to convert this into the actual run out. And maybe early on, quite an important break run actually, being down 2-0. One mistake could bring you down with the deficit and your opponent breaking twice, so it's a good moment for him to step it up. So Masol completing the first breaker run of the match. And he has 1 more break. If you could break like he just did, if you could do that all day long, that's definitely one of those things. If you have that kind of break, you kind of feel like you have to win the tournament. Like, just the cue ball control itself, but also at that pace, the 1 ball usually moves over to the corner too. Let's see if he controls the cue ball just as well as the previous break, Eric.
Yeah, his 1 loss in the tournament was to Josh Filler, 7-5.
Oh. Well. Couple balls threatening the corners, but nothing really threatening the sides. And look at this. Not too far off. Can tap this in, still be on the 1. And first look at the table, Eric. Looks like the run out not too difficult. Maybe the 3 to the 4 to get the proper side of the ball. But overall, a great chance for Fortuni to actually steal a frame off Masol's break.
Yeah, that's the elusiveness of rotation pool right there. Perfect break onto offense for Masol in his first of 2 breaks. Second break not executed quite as well and punished now with possibly being stuck 3 to 1. Cue ball's moving enough to the left off the 4. Might have to punch it in a bit. Still comfortable pocketing here where you can feel the right side of the pocket to create a little more angle going that way. Just the 1 miss on the 5 from Masol, really the difference up until this point. It's going to be back to Fortuni with the next 2 breaks, so a chance to really open up a decent lead here. Even if he gets 1 of the 2, he'll still be ahead 4 to 1. 4 to 2, pardon me. Speeding up a little bit now, Tim. Back to his kind of free-flowing state.
Well, I think for a player with his rhythm too, I think the most interesting way to play would be, hey, you start off a bit slow, you know, get the job done the first 2 racks. And then from there, maybe, you know, like the more you start to feel the table, the more you actually can speed up. I think that works really well for players like Fortuni. His style, I mean, obviously there's so many more players like this, but I think it's a specific type of player that it would hurt his game at some point to still play that same deliberate pace, I think.
Yeah, I completely agree. I tend to play a little bit on the faster side myself, but in big spots, I'll kind of speed up as the match goes and as I get more comfortable.
Yeah, the difficulty is you gotta feel yourself so well. And that's where, I mean, I've also seen Fortuni make mistakes that way in tournaments where maybe he felt like he had to speed up even though he didn't have the feeling yet, you know. Look at this. Bit of an unlucky bump with the folder railer going into the cue ball. But still a good chance to play a good safety here. Maybe, I think he's going to play the split and the cue ball 2 rails behind the 4, I guess.
Yeah, if you can get enough left spin on it. I think you'd want to be drawing over to that spot, but should be able to see. Yeah, you definitely can. He's actually looking at the pocketing angle here, Tim. A couple times now. Oh, just kind of halfway in between both shots there. Must have been going for the pocketing, but I'm surprised he played so much left on it. Maybe just caught it a little thin. Couldn't have been offense. Would have never played the cue ball like that. Just too thin on the safe there. So a chance for Masol to get back into it.
Yeah, weird kind of shot he's played there. Now, I mean, then again, so much space near the center of the table, so moving the cue ball around shouldn't be the biggest problem in this rack. Maybe we'll have to play a stop shot here, though, to be straight enough on the 4 to draw back closer to get to the 5. This is where you're trying to avoid leaving yourself too much angle, actually. No, he was... Well, he's played it well to get closer to the 4. I didn't think he's going to risk it to go around the 5.
Still in good line here. Gonna have to avoid the 8-9 coming across for the 7. Decent window in between them. Should be able to get the cue ball on a pretty good angle on the 6 now. Bit of headway making for Masol, getting back to even here. Definitely going to feel better about winning the first of Mieszko's 2 breaks.
Yeah, just a bit like you said, Masol breaking perfect in the previous rack, but nothing going in and leaving, well, a great run-out opportunity for Fortunski. But I kind of feel the same for Fortunski's break just now. Hitting him great, making balls on the break. Cue ball gets 1 kiss and eventually landing on, well, basically nothing. Just like you mentioned, that's some rotation pull for you. At times can be brutal. This is some great pace. Going a bit across the positional area, but well, if you feel the table that well, it's landed perfectly straight. And pulls 1 back. Masol now trailing 3-2. But Fortunski still breaking.
Pretty straight to me. Testing the roll of the table there. Yeah, I really like how Mieszko hits the break. Stays down on it, doesn't really stand all the way up through it, but still creates a lot of power. It's tough to do, but he does it well. Just kind of stands halfway up. Similar to Federer Gorst.
Yeah, this is a solid pop there. I mean, has come up dry, and actually, I think that little bump onto the cue ball might have saved him a bit there, but I like the way they are starting to hit the break, both of them. But this is the reason why we both expected to have maybe 30% of break and runs in a match, just with that little bit of outside the box. Still challenging to make a ball.
Yeah, been 2 dry breaks out of the 5 so far. Not quite sure what Masol's looking at here. He does push the cue ball behind the 10. 7's going to be in the way of a jump. Just onto the 10 for a long distance jump. Pretty far, Tim. I think he'll favor the kick here if he does take anything. I like giving this back, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the jump is never something you would consider. And well, he's pushed to a kick where the cue ball can slide under the 5, or on top of the 5 from this view. But you gotta hit it so perfect. It's very easy to still leave the 1 ball on. So yeah, you gotta. I mean, I'd rather have my opponent play this than myself.
Yeah, I mean, Masol knew where he was leaving him, so does feel some confidence that he can pull this off. Tough to get it perfect, though, and he hasn't. Safe enough, so he'll survive for another turn at the table likely here. The 7 to be blocking the 1. Masol does have a jump option here. Can't pocket the 1, but could come over onto the right side of it and possibly create some distance.
Well, he's kind of forced into taking the jump. Don't really see any escapes. Maybe over the long rail he could have kicked in between the 2 and the 3 out. But oh, he's called the 1 in the top right. Is he gonna try a little bit of a double jump?
I have a feeling it's just in case, but I have a feeling he's going to try to hit the right side of it. Bank the 1 up the middle and get the cue ball playing towards the 4. Good try. Hasn't left anything again. Don't think Fortunsky can get really aggressive here on the combo. The cue ball's playing too far away from the 1. Can lay the cue ball behind the 8 pretty easily. He's taking a look over at the combo. Hold it up with inside. Well, he found a way to free the cue ball up. Is he on it?
Well, I thought maybe the 4 would be playing a role in this, but he had a little bit of a smile and I guess it was enough. And he did well actually, not to do too much with the cue ball, just to take the choice to whatever I get on the 2 will be fine with where the 3 ball is. Now, probably, I mean, to get from the 6 to the 7, get the proper angle on the 7, and then to go in between the 9 and the 10 for shape on the 9 ball to the top left, I think there's quite some difficulty coming.
Yeah, the 7's not an ideal spot to land between the 9-10, but I wouldn't want to be taking the combo. So he's going to have to figure something out here. Be nice if he could get the cue ball around where the 5 is. For the 7, the 6 is pretty far from that position. Would you ever run into the 9 off the 6, considering where the angle of the 5 is right now?
I mean, I kind of like that play. Because you can, even if you go like full pace into it, as long as you play the cue ball off the rail, as long as it doesn't stop there, I think not much could go wrong. It's got a nice angle for it.
Nicely played and decently on the 7. Good solve there from Fortuni. He's held his lead decently. 6 games down now. Next 2 breaks coming from Masol. Just trying to think of which other Polish players we have in the tournament this week. I saw Radoslav Babika's name on there, Mariusz Skanecki. So many top players from Poland now. They really had a good result at the World Team Championships this year.
Thomas Kaplan, Simon Kural.
Right.
I think Snigotsky is also there. Also a player that recently started to do really well in quite some events is Hubert Lopotko. Another Pole. I mean, you would say they're like tulips, you know, just it's pool playing season and they start to show up everywhere.
Another dry
Wojciech
break from
Szewczyk.
Masol. Yeah, Shevchuk is with us this week as well.
Yeah, this is where things can go fast, Eric. No break. One good run out, and this is now 5-2. Is he gonna play a little nudge on the 2 ball? Take a bit of a risk? Oh, he's played it well.
Yeah, used the full pocket there, but got through that nicely. You can draw out of this. 8's kind of in the path of the drawing angle. It is possible to avoid it. Another good shot from Fortuni. A little too much angle here. Still getting his way through the tough parts of the rack.
Yeah, from the beginning, getting a little bit too much angle overall. It's not easy to get back on track. Is he going to run into the 9?
This ball. Looks like he might cover it. He has. Didn't expect him to miss that one. Kind of focused on the cue ball running into the 9. Doesn't look like Masol has anything available off the right long rail. Might even have to go 3 rails. He's just going to go all offense here, Tim, and try to kick this one in. Yeah, jump is better than anything kicking off the short rail. I don't know what he was looking at down there.
Yeah, just... Oh. Well, he's called at the top right corner. So it means he's going to go for a jump kick. Well, I really like that play, and look at how great that has landed too.
Yeah, I have to admit, I don't think it's something I would have saw myself, but seeing how it played out, it was very high percentage. Likely to create distance, chance to get some blockers. Nice shot. And he's gained an advantage from it. Can get Fortuni behind the 6 now. Ideally wants to find a way for the 3 to avoid the 8. Just to create a little more distance. Like 2 rails starting over on the left long rail. Has to be a little careful of not catching a rail off the second rail here. Cue ball's not going to have a lot of energy. 8 just makes it. Good effort there from Fortuni. 4 is tied up with the 9. Not necessarily everything riding on this one ball.
Well, it's running out of time. Looks like he is playing his safety, but I mean, I don't mind these kind of saves, Eric. The only thing is that they're so easy to hit. Even now he's taking the jump cue too, so it's like, how can you not expect someone to make a solid hit and thus maybe getting away with it too?
Yeah, I think you nailed it there. If he would have had a little more time, he would have come up with something a little more aggressive, but just kind of had to make sure he got his shot off there. Didn't want to make this, really. Masol definitely giving this one back.
There is no single doubt that Fortuni is gonna go back to the table indeed. And how do you even get to the 4? I don't think he can go over the left side. Over the right side, you can see the angle coming out. He only has such a small piece either way to make a hit. He's not able to go over the top short rail.
What a hit
Good
from
hit.
Miesco onto a quarter ball. Nice shot.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. Oh. I mean, you have to say he's hit it. I don't think he could have hit it any better. But how the cue ball landed too. That is fascinating stuff.
Yeah, big reward there and a big spot in the match. A chance for Fortuni to take a 5-2 lead if Masol isn't able to get out of this. Not much to hide behind even if he does hit it. It's not going to be there. Big roll here mid-match. Doesn't want to be straight. Looks like he has the smallest angle going to the right off the 5. He's good now, Tim. One more break coming from Masol. He's gonna need it.
Yeah, this is definitely some early trouble from Masol. Fortunski so far missing, I believe, one ball. I've only seen him miss one ball. Looks to be comfortable. The belief is there. You can see it also on the way how he's playing. Like, there's no brain farts. There's no, well, unlucky things happening to him as well. Like, he's in full control right now.
Perfect break again. Ball down this time. Distance on the 1, and he's going to be forced to run into the 2. But he'll be taking his opportunity here. Might have to soft draw the cue ball a little bit to get the perfect result on the 2. Doesn't want to be playing behind it into the short rail, less likely to get onto it.
Oh.
Good result.
Well, you
there
would
from
say it's the
Masol.
perfect bump, but this 2 to the 3 ball needs quite some work as well.
Yeah, option to draw 2 rails back or 3 rails forward. It's a little thick for 3 rails forward. Good chance for Masol to put a break and run on the board and stay in the match here. Oh, he's missed a 4 out of
Ooh.
nowhere. And that's only 2 missed balls for Masol overall, but 2 easier ones that you wouldn't expect. No explanation there, Tim. Standard 2-rail back towards the 5.
Yeah, there is literally no reason at all to miss a ball like that. I mean, I don't want to sound rude to him, but kinda. Yeah, well, I mean, it's unexpected. There's no other way to it.
Good judgment there from Fortuni. Easy for that ball to turn over if he doesn't catch it thin enough. Got back down table nicely. A chance to take a big lead in this match now, getting on the hill and 4 games in front. He'll have 4 breaks minimum to finish off the set if he's able to get through this. Winner of this match will move to the losers qualification round. Playing down to a final 32 redraw. Playing down all the way to the quarterfinals today, Tim, correct?
Yes, I do believe so. We still have a long day to come. 3 more rounds, I believe, also on the Pro Billiard Series channel. So make sure to stay tuned. Make sure to put your notifications on, just to make sure you don't miss out on the action. We have a lot of good players actually in this event. Sometimes the EUROTOUR can appear to be a bit weaker than the others just because of the max limit of entrants. But, I mean, we have former World 9-ball runner-up Mohamed Soufi in it. Mateusz Nigoczki, Wojciech Cevcik, World 10-ball champion. These 2 cannons, you would say. Alexa Purcell, semi-final US Open. Like that. I could go on like this probably for the next 10 minutes. Like, there's a lot of good players in there.
He took a little off that one. He's dry here. Just trying out a different strategy, knowing they did come up dry a couple times with a little more power.
Well, nice delicate bump onto the 5. And, well, don't you think this is a bit of a must as a run out?
Yeah, I mean, player of Masol, you expect him to get out on any open table, but he has faltered a couple times in this match. Speedy speeding up his play a bit. Not getting careless, of course, but knowing that part of his fate is in Fortunski's hands. Funny to see Masol kind of freewheel a little bit. He's always so calculated. Just relative to the scoreline here, just trying to get one down quickly. Maybe he should change his style, Tim. Pretty good through this rack.
Well, maybe he was playing just a bit too consciously. Maybe he was just working his way a bit too much instead of just letting the arm go. He does have that little gear where he plays super fast, but I think overall in this match, from the beginning till now, he played rather slow for his standards.
Second break of 2 coming for Fortunski here, and it'll be turned over to Masol for the next 2 breaks. I wouldn't call it pressure, but he's aware of that. Wants to get the match over with right here. There goes the balls in the second row. One ball is going to come in a makeable position, and a chance for Fortunski to lock out Masol here and take the match down. To see if the 3 passes the 9. I believe it does. Too much angle here on the 1, but it is possible to slow the cue ball down. Shot there, holding with enough straight angle on the 2 to hold onto the right side of the table. He's looking good here, Tim. Wanted to be a little straighter on this one. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, as you can see, the 3 ball does go by the 9 easily. And indeed, he's a little bit off angle, but I mean, there's no way he's going to miss this ball, so he can do actually more with the cue ball. He's played himself so close nearby the 3. Do you think he's going to draw into the rail and come back out to the left side of the 4? Or maybe the 4 into the top left corner?
Yeah, I don't mind the top left. I think he'll involve the right long rail. It's fine too, but he's underdrawn it a bit.
Yeah, also it's right in between to where his options with the cue ball are a bit limited. I think he will have to take on the top right. But
I think so too.
Making that sound easy.
One more shot here for Fortunski. To get good on the 6, he needs a bit of left spin. Tried it with some left, but underdrew it a bit. Cue ball's running into the 8 now. Draw angles are kind of playing into the 9. He's forced to run into the 8. Can't really change the angle enough with draw here.
Yeah, looks like it. Maybe a hint of inside spin. Just gotta be careful while he's pushed the 8 to where it doesn't go by the 9 now. So he's gonna have to play to the short side. That's where he's gonna play 3 rails. Top right spin onto the 7.
Cue ball's coming around naturally, but the speed's got to be good here. Looks pretty good.
Now,
Slightly too much angle, but he'll be happy with this one.
maybe a bump into the 10? Or is he gonna just play it the clean way? No more bumps. Do more with the cue ball.
Little thinner than ideal on the 9, but Masol fearing the worst here. Gonna have to go all the way up and down, I think.
Ooh. Well, he got awful close to the scratch, and well, this is not a very easy shot to close out the match with. But at least he does have a shot. We'll have to play level cue. We'll have to play it soft. Doesn't want to follow the cue ball into the same corner. Well, here you see he's not straight in, so that won't be happening.
He's got it. Good match from Fortunski, throwing in a couple break-in runs, taking advantage of a couple unexpected errors from Masol, but looking good going forward. He's into the loser's qualification match now. Those rounds will be up in about 20 minutes time, Tim. Lost track of the time here, but not
Yeah, I
too long
think in
till
an
the next
hour,
round.
but
An hour, okay. Yeah, but we still got 3 more rounds of play for you left here. For Eric Orlison, this is Tim, or for Tim de Ryder, this is Eric Orlison. We'll talk to you guys soon.